You're listening to Empire of Rust, the world's first and only Transformers RPG podcast. Join the fight as Carapace, Rex, Magnum, Wildstrike, and Sweet Spot fight their way through Iacon's underworld against criminal empires and a movement determined to bring an end to the Cybertronian Confederation.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Empire of Rust. My name is Patrick Finn, and I am playing Carapace. We want to thank all of our listeners for joining in for this week's episode. We can be reached by email at rust@transmissionspodcast.com and on the Transmissions Podcast Discord server on the Empire of Rust channel. You can listen to us at Apple Podcast, Google Play, Spotify, or anywhere else that you can find podcasts. Today we're going to be talking about discussing weapon properties. Each weapon has certain properties that can be used to solve specific problems. In this instance, I have a Red Star Conqueror.
Red Star Conqueror!
Which has the unwieldy property. Unwieldy pretty much means that it can only be fired once per round. So even if you have the ability to make multiple attacks or combine it with other things, you just simply can't. It needs to cool down or charge up. It can only be used once per round. Secondly, I have a Sub-Zero Hail Cannon, which has the automatic property. The automatic property allows you to make multiple attacks in the same round by completely draining the charge or cartridge that's attached to it. So it's kind of like the room clearing sort of thing. Lastly, I have, with my laser pistol, we have the penetrating property, which allows you to ignore the hardness of specific objects. So if I were to shoot a wall, say, it would go through the wall easier than a normal weapon would. During today's episode, there's not going to be any combat. It's going to be an opportunity to let our techs and skilled characters really shine, as well as get some really fun RP. So without any further ado, please enjoy episode 20, Throbbing with Antici.
You know what's related to G.I. Joe? Transformers, and that's the game we're playing today.
I'm trying to.
All right, fine. Whatever.
Man, it's one-track mind.
Some say draft.
So you guys are on the Metallicus.
It's metal as hell in here, I'll tell you that.
Totally metal.
Metal. Yeah.
That's right. Everyone give it the horns. Come on. You can do it.
Yeah. Hold up.
Death rides a horse.
So you have a 2-day journey to get to Opibus Collection Station, or Oaks, and you can spend this time talking with the crew, doing stuff around the ship, just making certain everything is secure and no one has caused any problems. You can speak with the crew and talk with all of them. There are more crew than just the 4 that we have listed, but the other crew are essentially just grunts, like just typical workers, people that are just.
So I'm assuming that just because the idea of being like, oh, we're just not going to scan those people, like that they were scanned, they're nameless, and that they were no consequence.
You would be correct.
Okay, good. I was just going to be like, wait, what was the purpose of?
Yeah, that would have been a terrible oversight.
Yeah.
They're so nondescript that we can't even think that they're a threat until they kill us.
They're like gray men.
Wait a minute. Who's that? Oh, yeah, we have like a dozen other crew members.
Oh, that's Bomb Carrier Bob. What are you talking about? Everyone knows Bomb Carrier Bob. You know?
And Timer Maker Tom?
Yeah.
They are the yellow shirts.
Don't worry, we keep them on different shifts. That's never a problem.
Here's Fast Fuse Freddy.
So, the real important question is, where does he keep the rum?
Silverload?
Yes.
You gonna search
Yo, where's the rum?
Do you have an alcohol detector?
That's a very good idea.
That'd be like that.
Not yet, but soon.
What are you talking about, Magnum? What is rum?
He'll do that stand up with one leg.
The Captain Morgan pose?
Something to do with this.
Today's episode is brought to you by Captain Morgan. Please pay us.
One semantics question. What's the distance between the front gun and the back gun?
It's about one ship length.
Or it's more the, like, if I'm expecting that we'll be attacked from the front, So that's where I was going to be. But if I need to get to the back, you get there faster.
Always.
Yeah. But it's like if it's like, oh, this will take 10 rounds, I'd be like, oh, well, that's not happening.
It is 200 feet or 40 spaces from end to end. So the distance between the turrets will be slightly shorter.
So the turrets that someone has to sit in, or are they centrally controlled?
Someone sits in them and actually mans them. They are pretty old.
Yeah. Can we fix that and make them remote?
I will actually roll over an engineering check that Zephyr had done last episode, where you took a look at ship systems, and you think that maybe at one point it might have been centrally controlled, but there's been so much damage over the course of thousands of years that any connection between them has been severed. So at this point, they are all 100% like manually controlled.
So it's possible it would just take a lot of time.
Maybe we could do like an A-team montage and fix them.
That would certainly make things go by quicker.
We can't because you didn't bring the montage music.
I'm looking it up right
Can't we just hum it?
Come on, we all know the song.
Dun, 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 right? Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. We got it.
Somebody plays Eye of the Tiger by accident. We all learned to box instead. Damn it.
Which I am also fine with.
So as you are flying over the, like heading towards the station, you do notice that the ship passes over multiple landscapes, and at this point you've already passed the outskirts of Iacon, and there's no more civilization out here. It's just the wilds of Cybertron. You pass over several mechanical biomes. Fields of razor-sharp grass, forest of tendril-like metal trees, and off in the distance, swirling like a twister of brown dust, is the Great Rust Sea. Even from here, you can feel the rust particles being carried on the wind to impact against your metallic skin.
I will be inside during the majority of this ride.
You can tell very obviously that all of the ground that it's passing over is difficult terrain, if not completely unpassable. The fields of razor grass, I mean, pretty much you start walking into it, you're going to get cut up pretty badly.
My poor tires.
Your tires are all flat.
Your delicious tires.
No, I changed it before we got on board.
Oh, you did?
I packed some spares.
Yes, you did.
They're under lock and key.
Can we do something like a knowledge geography check or like a satellite imagery to see here's this big... This would be an attack point. Like if we were somebody that was actually trying to attack this place to try to either, one, avoid them or to at least be ready when we come around them.
That would be a physical science check.
So somebody that's not me should roll that.
And not me.
They wouldn't even be able to aid.
Wouldn't you, though? No, from like a cultural standpoint, since you're a mercenary, would you be able to recognize it from
Like a tactical...
Yeah,
Well,
from a
not-
tactical standpoint.
we don't have any abilities that technically give you that.
We have a fair and impartial GM,
Wait, who's this?
who's also very handsome in a tall, skinny kind of way.
Turn on the charm, why don't you?
I did.
You didn't bring enough chocolate to butter me up.
You're right. I ate most of my chocolate.
Chocolate you up.
I guess he needs butter.
Chocolate butter? Chocolate butter. Buttery chocolate. Ooh.
All right, Magnum, what'd you roll?
21 for Pythagoras.
21.
Physical science.
Physical science. Okay. You actually can tell very clearly that the ship is high enough above any surface that you don't think that any ambush from the ground is going to be possible. You're going to you definitely notice them coming up from the ground, unless they were directly underneath you.
So can Pythagoras take 20 engineering check just to do it slowly? Basically connect Magnum's alt form to the computers, the ship's sensor array and its systems to sort of act as a secondary sensor processor and enhance his own abilities. And take control of anything that he has access to.
Could you use the ship sensors in that fashion?
Well, put them together, yeah.
Roll me an engineering check.
I can't take 20?
No, because I think this has a possibility for failure.
Is this something Zephyr can assist with?
Yeah, sure.
Could I also assist with the computers aspect of that?
Yeah, I'll let you aid with computers.
Okay. That would be enough for us to...
21.
21. All right. So it takes you a couple of hours to kind of get all the connections set, because this is a very, very old chip and not compatible with your systems at all. But you do manage to put together an essentially an adapter, so you can hook up your senses straight into the the ship's sensors. So when you test this out and you connect it to yourself and you turn it on, all of a sudden your perception goes way bigger.
All right.
So you are perceiving up to 5 miles out. You're seeing all this detail, like all in the on the ground covering and in the grasses, like the trees in there. You're seeing like the motions of animals down there. Your center range extends out to just the edge of the rust sea, and you can see what's happening on there with like all the rust particles and everything.
Are they mechanimals, or are they actually organic?
They're mechanical animals.
Okay,
yeah.
mechanicals.
Yeah.
Does this ship have data storage modules?
To what end?
He's just going to dump the data into them as he goes over.
Oh, so you're not storing it yourself? Yeah.
What's a bit much?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep, you can store it on the ship's
I don't know
system.
anything interesting. And can he scan the interior as well?
There are no internal sensors. Only external.
There are no internal sensors at all?
Nope.
Heat sensors?
None.
You know, atmospheric gas sensors?
You think that at one point there probably was, but they were not a high priority to fix or to maintain, and just over time, nothing's working anymore.
Guys, I have good news and bad news.
All right. What's the news?
It's very pretty out there, and I can see a long way.
Oh, that's the bad news, huh?
That's the good
What's
news. There isn't a single working internal sensor.
Well, that is a problem. Are you able to use your own sensors for within the ship?
Yeah, I can do that. I guess I'm the only working internal sensor now.
All right, let's keep that between us so that you don't fall prey to some accident. Would it be possible for me to have a small conversation with the captain before we get too far in?
Yeah, certainly.
I want to talk to him about operational responses here. I'll let him know that our team will be on our own private channel to coordinate with each other for security reasons, and that Carapace is probably our number one combat tactician. And since Magnum is going to be on the bridge, any recommendations that come from him will be from our own team's responses, and he'd be well in favor of heeding those suggestions from Magnum.
That's fine by me. You guys do your jobs, and we'll do ours.
Yes, sir, Captain Silverface.
Silverload.
We also haven't addressed from last time the fact that we had a former,
Oh, yes.
this one.
Terratron.
Yeah, a terrorist, on this thing. So we should probably address that before we pass days.
Yes. Let's discuss your crew. What was the vetting process?
What's wrong with my crew?
I asked first.
I have a very robust vetting process. Here, I'll send it to you.
And he sends it to your datapad.
Well, I'll take a look at it.
It actually is fairly robust, too.
All right. Well, we did a little vetting. Does it have information about Terratron 9000?
Rail, you mean?
Rail.
Rail.
Rail. Otherwise known as Terratron 5000 to his friends. Makes people uncomfortable, but, what can you do?
Actually, in his Yeah, actually, in his file, it does mention that he was a former member of Cybertron First.
So how well do you know these people? How long does this go back? I mean, how far does this profile go back? Is it just 2 weeks old, or?
No, I mean it'll go back like a couple of years. Like once Rail had gotten to had returned back to Cybertron.
So they've been working together for a few years now.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody?
The captain and Rail have been working together for a while at least, and it looks like that. It looks like Rail was either a former friend of the captain or whatever the case may be, but they knew each other from a while back.
Does the captain have a profile on here?
Does the captain have a profile for Rail or for
himself?
Himself, no.
We seem to be missing something here.
You asked him for his vetting process for his crew, not for his personnel file.
Still a bit of a gap, isn't it? Did you check yourself thoroughly?
I have no internal sensors, no.
I guess you've known yourself for a while, haven't you?
Yes, I know myself very well.
All right, so you would trust yourself to run a starship?
Absolutely. I have experience doing it. Do you?
I don't know. I've only known you for a few days.
No, do you have experience running a starship?
Oh. Yes.
I was going to say yes.
You have any experience in this head-body combination?
No, I'm rolling a sense motive against you.
I know. I'm rolling a bluff. He's a Decepticon, right?
He is a Decepticon.
14.
I imagine they're
He's not a
pretty hard to
Percepticon,
bluff.
though.
I don't think you've flown a ship at all.
I didn't say I flew it. You
This
said
button.
You said
This button.
something
What does
else.
this button do?
He'll read the sign on the button. What does it say?
It has no sign.
Just press it and find out.
It does this.
Anyway, you didn't say fly. You said run. I've run from many ships, I'll tell you that. All right, I accept your vetting of yourself. Any new crew members?
Newest crew member is Blue Shift. You already met him, though.
Yes. How long has he been working with you?
2 weeks we've been running. He's one of the newest bots to Cybertron, though.
All right. Any, good, so he's doing all right so far. Get along.
No complaints at all. Seems to get along with the crew and everything.
Very well. Anybody have any questions?
I mean, I would just specifically ask that, like, you do know that
Yes.
this other guy was...
Yeah. We just want to reiterate. You've known Railface for a while. He's former member of C1. Obviously, you're not discriminating. You're very, very comfortable with him being in his position.
We've talked about his former association before. I'm not going to speak on his behalf. If you want to find out more about him, you can speak with him, but I trust him with my life.
All right. Thank you. Did you get references from C1 when you hired him?
What kind of question? What kind of question is that?
Don't you usually get references from former employers?
I've worked with Rail before.
All right. So that's a no. Okay. Thank you very much.
Maybe he gave himself references for his work.
Sense motive. Just, what's his confidence level? I'm not really surprised if it's high.
Yours in the captain's?
My confidence, well, his confidence in his crew.
Oh, okay.
31.
31? Yeah, no, you're, he seems that it was, he seems to trust his crew. I mean, they haven't all been together, like, overall, like, really too long, but they've, haven't had any issues, haven't had any problems so far, so far it's been the model of efficiency.
And he seems genuinely interested in the ship's well-being.
Yep. Yes, he does.
After Magnum shares this information with our group, I would suggest that possibly, Zephyr, if you're mechanically inclined, that you kind of hang out in the engine room and keep a physical eye on this Rail character. Make sure that he's not doing anything, that he shouldn't be. Fixing things that ain't broke and such.
That's what I was planning on doing. Hang out down in the engine room, keep an eye on him, seeing how the ship runs in case we do get into any trouble.
Right. And as a secondary possible goal for yourself, if Magnum tells us that the internal sensors are not working, maybe you could fix, not all of them, but 1 or 2 in key areas that we might need to keep an eye on.
I'll try to get the subsystems going again.
Yeah, I'll take a look.
No internal sensors in a ship this size is absolute insanity. If fire breaks out, they don't even know.
Like a sensor in the engine room would be kind of a key thing.
Yeah, even a heat sensor for something electronics that fry or something like that,
Yeah, a sensor in the power core might be a good idea.
Now, is it that the sensors aren't working or that there are no sensors at all?
A little bit of a mix of both.
Okay.
There are still like sensor like heads, like you can see it's like sensor like where they would have been low sensors. However, the ones that are still there are non-functional, and then it looks like some of them have been taken off, like and maybe cannibalized for parts over the course of thousands of years. So about half and half. Some are just not there at all. Others are just completely non-functional.
Okay, so that's another thing I'll try to do. The existing sensors, I'll see if I can get up and running, if possible.
If you could do that kind of in secret, that would be even better.
Well, I'll see what I can do.
Because if the crew thinks that there's no sensors...
You could do it in the dark as well, with only one hand.
Silently.
Where do you want to prioritize?
Wearing Magnum's trench coat.
Yeah, it's a question of where the sensors are located. Priority would be the engine room or the engine area, possibly the bridge. Any other locations that you guys think would be a good priority?
Do they have like internal sensors for these things that we're actually transporting? Like, if they get shot once, does the whole ship go up? Are they armored? Do they have a shield generator? Like,
how explosive is energon?
It is very explosive. Actually, go ahead and make an engineering check. Engineering or physical science.
26.
So right now, all the canisters are empty. There's probably some trace amounts of energon, but even if it was shot.
Oh, I thought it was full. I thought we were going like from the energon pool to the...
Right now you're going from Iacon to the collection station to get the energon, then coming back.
Oh, okay.
So you know that the containers are empty right now. A quick perception of them will tell you that they are armored enough where they will probably take like a few shots with no problems, but any concentrated damage will punch through. It's not, the armor on them is not meant to protect them from warfare. It's meant to protect them from like a stray blast or something impacting them. But you can tell that all 4 of those containers are pretty much brand new. And they don't look dented or damaged or anything. It looks like they've been well taken care of and they're all good.
Do they happen to have like a force field generator?
No. This is a transport ship, not a warship.
Just figured I would ask.
Yeah.
Where are those things located?
On the underside of the ship.
Okay. Oh, that's bad.
They are held in place by anti-grav generators.
So they're outside? Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Oh.
Are the anti-grav generators new?
Yeah, fairly new. It looks like it was. It looks like they were either replaced fairly recently, or they may have been kind of new during the trip to Oaks last time.
So our biggest threat is something from below exploding upwards.
Or something internal.
Yeah.
We want to make sure the power to the anti-gravity regulators doesn't get interrupted at all.
Yeah, so that's another location to try to keep an eye on.
All right, Mike, so you want to try and build or try to repair some of the sensors.
Yes. Internal sensors, yes. Those things.
So looking around, you can see that none of the sensors that were left in the engineering room are there anymore. It looks like they may have been some of the first ones to be like cannibalized once they were non-functional.
Okay.
However, as you walk around the ship and as you kind of explore things and you take a look at what's going on, you can see that in some of the lesser accessed areas of the ship, there are some that haven't been cannibalized yet.
Okay.
You can attempt to take those, bring them back to the engineering room or to the bridge, and hook those up there.
Okay.
So go ahead and give me an engineering roll.
20.
20. Yep, 20 will do it. We'll say that you got 1 successfully disconnected and brought over to, you want to prioritize engineering?
Yes.
Okay. and give me one more engineering roll to install it.
29.
29. Yeah, you get yourself right up there, and you manage to reconnect it, and physically everything is all connected, hooked up. You
Magnum, you getting this sensor information from the engineering bay?
Well, can I sense anything?
Yes, you are getting a motion sensor, so you can tell like what's moving around. You can see like the size of whoever is moving around as well. So you can see Rex and all his friend and his herd.
Is it like sonar or just motion?
It's honestly, it's probably a bit more like sonar. You're getting like a spatial reading of where everything is. So you're not getting heat or sound information, but you are getting like when things are moving around in there.
Do they have to move to be seen?
No, but it's difficult to tell if it's just a thing on the ground versus something that's actually like ambulatory. So if you just put a box on the ground, it's going to look like a box. If you put a box that contains a bomb on the ground, it still looks like a box.
Yeah. I can't tell you how much this moves me.
And we're here. It took you 2 days to install a motion detector?
It took me 2 days to find one.
Oh yeah, it is kind of big shit. Should have asked me to help.
It's working too. It's working. Not sure how useful it is, but it's definitely a lot better than it was before.
The tingling means it's working.
Good. Glad you can see.
I try to reroute anything that might still be inactive that might still be working.
Sensors you're talking about?
Yes.
No, that has to be repaired first.
Okay.
You could potentially repair some of the ones that are still existing but again, like in the engine room.
There's nothing I can do remotely though on the
Right.
computer system.
Nope.
What's the computer like? I mean, is it?
It has an interesting dialect. I don't know where it learned to communicate.
It's actually a little bit primitive. It's not an AI system like you've expected. Almost the entire ship is on manual control.
Okay, so
so
there is pretty much no security to this thing anyway. So anything he's connected to, he can control at this point. But it's all manual control, so it's probably very limited at this point.
Correct.
Are there any subsystems that are still under electronic control, or?
The navigation computer that controls like the main path that the ship is flying down. So it has basic, it has basic engine control so that it knows to turn the ship when it needs to and such, and to avoid scraping the bottoms of mountains and stuff like that.
All right. Wow.
Down in the engine room, Rex and the herd is there. Do you guys want to do anything to Zephyr?
Excuse me?
That was obviously
Like tackle him from behind.
Protect your tires! Protect your tires!
Let's practice the terrorist attack.
Zephyr, do you have tires?
No, of course not.
Ooh.
Not anymore.
Oh yeah, you're a hover train. Don't know how lucky you are.
I guess for role-playing sake, I'll be keeping an eye on him to see what he's doing and how he's doing it. And
Okay.
maybe I'll gain some skills, wink wink, someday.
Someday.
It's like, hey, I need to reach that. Okay, turn into a dinosaur. He walks up your back. Oh, thanks. That's great.
I'm helping.
An episode of the Flintstones. It's quitting time.
Yabba dabba doo.
Well, this is like time for you guys to kind of do what you want as well on this part of the trip. So you can be like aiding and helping around like that. You can be working on skills. So if you do want to take this time to train something like engineering or computers or whatever, you're welcome to do that as well. So if you don't have anything specific that you're doing, you're welcome to pursue your own skill training.
I think I'll probably just familiarize myself with the controls in the rear turret to make sure, I know where everything is and what does what, considering how antiquated it is.
Like I said, it's a very, very primitive control system to it because it is a very, very old ship. It looks like it was maintained but not upgraded. So you do have but you test everything out, and you're doing like the Han Solo thing where everything is, you're moving back and forth, up and down.
Huh. Hand cranks. How quaint.
And Carapace, do you want to do anything?
My job is solely to pretty much man the guns and be ready for combat. So that's pretty much what I'm going to do, but I figure that since all I'm doing is effectively looking around, I could be working on my perception skill.
I'm fine with that.
Awesome. So how many hours a day?
16?
Because I'm going to be doing that pretty much the whole time.
I'll break this up into 8-hour chunks for the trip there and the trip back. Okay. So first chunk of the day, 8 hours, you're doing skill training for perception. Sweet spots. Familiar.
Just getting used to the controls.
Okay. Rex, if you want to work on a skill like engineering or computers, what have you, you're welcome to. Zephyr, you are taking the time to get the sensor disconnected and working. And Magnum, you are getting yourself hooked up to the ship and looking at everything around you.
He's just going to stay connected basically the entire time and do as much monitoring.
And you're in your structure mode. What's Pythagoras doing?
Pythagoras, I think, is going to see if he can hunt down if there's any disconnected data cores that are ancient from the ship that probably are not connected to the system anymore. So he's probably going to go to the central memory.
Okay.
That would be very interesting to check.
Exactly. So you can see if there's anything old stuff you can pick up on.
Sure.
And collect. I wouldn't trust this thing to transform at this point.
So that's the first 8 hours. Moving on to the second block of 8 hours. Again, it's going to take 2 days to get to Oaks, so we have 6 8-hour periods during that time. Let's go ahead from starting with Sweet Spot this time. So for the second 8-hour period, what do you have planned?
I'll probably just wander around the ship, find the most passable routes to get from one place to another. That's, doesn't have a lot of congestion or corners or whatever. So if I need to get really fast from one place to another, I know the best route to do so. From turret to turret, from both turrets to the bridge, from the bridge to the engineering, etc.
Makes sense to me.
Hey, Sweet Spot.
Yeah.
While you're out there wandering, take a look, see if you find any sensors that could be used.
Oh, sure, I'll do that. Perception?
Perception.
All right. That's a 16 plus my modifier, which is a 10, so that's 26.
26. You locate 5 what appears to be undamaged sensors.
Okay, I'll note their locations, and over our quiet comms, I'll let Zephyr know where those are. All right, so you got this one.
Thank you.
This one, and this one didn't look too bad, and this one looks fairly okay. So it looks like it's hard to get to.
As you're wandering around, you run into a fairly small, young-looking bot.
Oh my gosh.
Collision damage.
Hello. All right, 5d4 times 2.
Oh my god! You're Sweet Spot, right?
Yes.
I saw you race. I saw you race in the Ibex Cup.
All right, calm down. I ain't going nowhere. Who are you?
My name's Blue Shift Pryon.
Blue Shift. Yeah, I heard about you. You're like a new crew member, aren't you?
Yeah. I'm from Caminus. Yes.
All right, so you're a fan of the racing?
Oh, definitely.
All right, so you saw the last one?
I did.
Saw the action, huh?
I did.
You saw the bot breakthrough?
Yep.
Terrible thing. Involved with C1. Horrible stuff that they're trying to do.
Absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
Why can't, us colonists here, live in peace? Why do they hate us? What's going on here?
Well, it's probably insecurities. They probably don't want foreigners taking over their homes, their jobs, their way of life. Changing things.
We're not trying to take anything over, though.
No, of course not. But they're afraid that we will. And fear is a very driving motivator. How old are you? If you don't mind my asking. You seem like a very young bot.
I'm about 1,000 years old.
Yeah, that's fairly young. You'll learn over time. People will do great things when they're motivated by fear. But we have to overcome it. Be brave in the face of it. So what's your job here on the ship? What do you do?
I'm general maintenance.
General maintenance? Should I salute you?
No, not that kind of general. I'd be a private, I guess, if I were in the army.
So you're private maintenance. what are you working on now? What's your current task?
I am monitoring all of the energon relays to be sure they are all functioning.
Oh. Well, how do you do that? Explain that to me.
He's very excited about actually you interacting with him and treating him like
which is why I'm doing it.
Yeah, like treating him like a responsible member of the crew. And yeah, he'll go ahead and he'll show you kind of like what he's doing, and he'll
very interesting.
He will clean and repair any damage to like the energon pathways that go from main engines. They go from the power source to main engines to the bridge.
I'll take note of how he's doing that in case I ever had to, or need to, relay that to someone else who'd be more proficient at it. But yeah, it's a serious job, so I'm taking note of it, and I'll interact with him and ask him questions like, who taught you how to do that? How long you been doing that? Stuff like that.
I trained as an engineer on Caminus.
Oh, really? On a ship like this? Bigger, small, faster?
He looks kind of embarrassed, like newer.
Well, that's
this ship is older than Cybertron.
That's cutting it down to about all the ships that are out there.
I don't want to say anything about this ship. I like this ship. This is my first real job,
Old ships and Transformers have character. They've been through things. They've seen things. Like, take a look at this dent right here. What made that? What happened? What was going on during that time? Could have been thousands of years ago, maybe even millions. Who knows?
I tripped off my toolbox yesterday.
Or it could have been just a simple accident. Which, rest assured, I won't tell anyone about.
So tell me about Velocitron. What's it like over there?
Velocitron. It's a wonderful place. It's kind of dangerous, though. The sun actually beats down on the planet so much that it scorches the surface. In fact, all the cities there have to be in perpetual motion to outrun the sun.
That is so cool.
Well, as long as we stay in the shade, it is cool. However, it is impossible to survive in the direct sunlight because the rotation of the planet is so slow, it scorches the Earth, which is also the reason that we're able to outrun the sunrise because the rotation of the planet is so slow.
Have you ever raced outside?
I can't say that I didn't want to, just for the experience of it, but I have never actually had the chance to.
It sounds dangerous.
It is. It's actually considered a bit barbaric by most Velocitronians of noble stature.
Barbaric? Why? That sounds like total fun. I'd love to do it.
Well, the dangers involved in running a race like that, participating in a race like that, or even spectating at a race like that. The dangers are so enormous to the general populace that it's looked down upon. It's frowned upon. Most cities make it illegal for the local law for anyone to be racing outside of the city. The cities all are equipped with wonderful, wonderful tracks, very well upkept, and of the highest pristine nature. Not as nice, some of them, as the new racetrack here on Cybertron. That is wonderful.
The Icon Speedway?
Oh, yes. All new and shiny, brand new pavement. And the transforming ability of the track. That's marvelous. It really gives a bot a workout.
We don't have anything like that on Caminus.
Have you had a chance to race?
I haven't. I would love to race.
I'm not quite sure. Mind my asking what your alt form is?
And he will transform. He turns into kind of like a hover car.
Oh, you would actually get along wonderfully with Zephyr. He transforms into a similar form, which is probably why you both would find racing in the open environment so thrilling. There's no danger. See these tires? There's a lot of work that comes with keeping these things up.
Are those,
especially lately?
Are those teeth marks in your tires?
They better not be. Oh, damn it. I swear to God, he is so sneaky, that bot.
He goes for like 10 gallons of Fix-A-Flat a day.
Well, I'm going to have to go take care of this and get this up, because if I need to change into my vehicle form, it's not going to be pretty, me trying to race around like this.
Can you introduce me to Zephyr?
Oh, sure.
He kind of like shies back a little bit. He looks like a little embarrassed to even ask.
Oh, don't worry about it. Hey, Zephyr, where you at?
I'm a little busy installing a sensor here. What's up?
Hold on 1 second. Where are you going to be? What's your next task? Where are you going to be?
I'm heading over to the anti-grav generators, making certain that the energon relays are still good there.
Hey, could you meet Blue, if you don't mind me calling you Blue? Could you meet Blue over by the anti-grav generators there when you're done?
Oh, yeah, I can do that.
All right. He'd love to meet you in chat.
All right.
You've got a number one fan.
Don't worry about it. Just introduce yourself when he shows up. He's a real friendly bot. You'll like him.
He shakes your hand and he just goes up and down 10 times. Thank you.
Are you sure you're not a Velocironian?
No, Camion all the way.
All right. Keep racing, little fella. I gotta get to fixing this flat.
Make a quick perception check.
Sure.
He just lied to you.
He just stuck the bomb to your palm of your hand and you didn't notice. Wait a minute.
Was that perception or sense motive?
Perception.
That would be a 17.
You can see him geeking out as he's walking away from you. Oh my god, I just met him. I just met Sweet Spot.
I just smile and nod. Young political figure right there, up and coming.
I just met Sweet Spot. Yeah, you did. Carapace, what are you doing for the second block in this day?
This one's pretty simple for me. I'm not an engineer. I'm the gun. So I'm just going to keep, I'll go from one gun, and then I'll walk over to the other one just to make sure that I'm not missing something. So,
okay.
It's pretty much, if one of you guys needs something oh, this wall needs to be broken down, I'll come. But besides that, this is really the only thing I'm here for.
If you have time to wander.
I mean, I don't think that I do. I'm considering, we are on threat assessment. So my full-time job is to be ready to fight. That's, I'm taking that very seriously.
Okay, well, I was thinking maybe you could evaluate what sort of equipment or weaponry that might be in the closets and, things like that. Or
anything like that?
This is a big ship. There could be all sorts of friggin' junk around.
Okay.
Somewhere. Assuming that it doesn't interfere with what else you're doing. Your feet on the ground, so...
Right. Yeah,
or
no,
if you happen to
that's...
find a closet full of sensors or something like that, or...
That's where they all are.
Hey, look, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I know, it could be.
Oh, there they are.
At this point, nothing would surprise me about this thing. This is like the U.S. delivering its nuclear piles via Zeppelin.
Go ahead and make a perception check then.
Yeah, I'm terrible at this.
Just open your eyes.
That is an 18.
18? It's not a bad roll at all. On the path that you were heading down, you don't notice anything in particular. However, that is one of the main corridors to the ship as well. So you think that if anything kind of was lying around there that just someone had lost track of, it probably would have gotten found relatively soon. Because again, it's one of the main access roads to the access corridors to the ship. Rex, you are still in the engine room?
I guess I'll stick around with Zephyr or run errands or what anybody needs. I don't have any real skills to do anything specific.
Can you go around looking to find things just to see what's here? If you have time. If you're not doing anything else, unless this is something you'd rather do. It's a big place, and if or find the crew quarters or something like that. Yeah, if you can find it, if you just find sensors.
All right, I'll percept.
Go for it. Perception.
All my people can help me, right?
They can either help you or do it on their own.
Or hinder you.
I got the hindering settled with me, all right?
Anything possible.
If you want to send all of your herd out and kind of start scouring the ship,
yeah, you could explore the ship in 4 different ways at the same time.
Magnum's I got movement all over. They're all over, man. They're closing in on us.
They're in the room with us.
Blaze doesn't find anything.
It's just Rex.
Laser had a 16, I think. 17, something like that. Grazer's got a 17. I had a 20.
All right, so you managed to locate a number of undamaged sensors that you might be able to scavenge. Between all three of you, you managed to locate 10.
All right. Is there things I can grab or just tell Zephyr about?
You can try and make an engineering check to do it, or you can... Okay, then...
Then don't try.
That's all. Right.
You think that if you're going to try and do it, it'll likely break. Probably.
As you do with most.
Is this energon? Oh no, we're still good. I'll get it down.
A little heavy on the electrons.
They look like rubber. Nice, soft, squishy... Oh, no, this is...
Where'd I leave those tires? Come on, guys.
No, where did I leave those tires?
No, this is like old rubber. It'd be all like hard and cracked and everything. Nah, it wouldn't be good. Think like an old like rubber tire that's just like all crappy and everything. You don't want to eat that.
It's like a hard candy.
Yeah.
I suck on it for
That's what I'm
days.
going to do the next time I go to hang out with Rex in a non-mission capacity. I'm going to put on some the oldest I can find tires and see if we try to sneak a bite then.
We'll just all be sucking on you all day.
Looks like formal wear for him.
Ooh, those new tires? No, they're old.
You do run into Rail as you are wandering around, though. What are you doing wandering around over here?
Looking around
For what?
for anything suspicious.
Did you find anything?
No. Just
Huh.
you.
Just me. Think I'm suspicious?
I don't know. Are you? Here for security, man. What do you want from me?
Thought you were hanging out with Zephyr over there in the engine room.
I was, but I got a couple days travel, so figured I should get a lay of the land a little bit too.
I can understand that. And yeah, he'll walk off if you don't say anything else to him, so. It's like, I don't even like you. Anything else over the course of the...
Just percepting and engineering, I guess. Trying to stay out of the way.
Sounds good. Zephyr, you were doing...
I have 15 sensors to collect now.
Yes!
Why don't you give me 3 engineering rolls? We'll kind of do them in bunches.
Okay.
15 sensors to collect.
16, 24, and 28.
Okay. Yeah, that works for me. So you can... you find that 7 of them are in good enough shape where you can disconnect them and you can get them... You think you can get them working again. Out of those 15.
And the other ones, could I cobble them together to make a working one or something?
Yeah, you think so.
Okay.
It would probably take you 4 sensors for the broken ones to get one useful good one. But it would take you a little bit of time to kind of fix it up.
I'll work on the good ones. I'll try to repair or fix one of the good ones, get it working, and then I'll head down to the anti-grav room and try to install one there.
Okay. Give me engineering.
27.
27. Yeah, it's more than enough to handle that. So yeah, you can get a sensor installed there. Are you trying to keep it hidden? Are you trying to not be seen doing this?
I'm assuming that there's locations where sensors were beforehand, before they had removed them or whatnot?
No, I'm asking whether or not you are trying to...
Oh, be sneaky doing it?
Yeah, are you just letting the crew know that you're doing this, or are you just...
I'm not announcing it. I'm not trying to be too sneaky, but not trying to put attention on myself either, if that makes sense.
Okay. I ask because you run into Blue Shift on the way to the anti-grav room, or the anti-grav engines.
Hello there.
You're Zephyr. You're Zephyr, aren't you? Aren't you Zephyr?
Yeah, I am. You're Blue Shift, right?
Yes. And he goes to shake your hand and shakes it super fast.
You got some energy there, don't you?
Yes. Tell me, you've been to Velocitron, right?
Oh yeah, I'm from there.
What's it like?
Oh, it's very nice there. There's a whole bunch of racers, and it's a big thing there.
Are you a racer?
A little bit, I'm not as fast as some of the bots there, but I do my best.
Ooh, this is so cool.
Are you a racer yourself?
I'd love to race, but I'm not a racer.
He kind of looks down and like shuffling his feet. It's like
I'm not a racer. No.
Don't talk like that. You got the energy to be one.
Do I?
You seem to be. When we get back, you should do some laps.
Can I do that? Where? How can I do that?
This suit's blood is nitro.
Yeah, right.
That's why we're trying to befriend him. We want to
I want to snort you.
Wait, what? Remember that squirrel from that cartoon with Little Red Riding Hood and the Big Bad Wolf?
Hoodwinked.
We've become the Transformer versions of vampires.
I'm sure we can get you into the Icon Speedway, do some laps there. Maybe Sweet Spot will even help out.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
We could do a little race just for fun,
Do you think I could race against Sweet Spot?
I'm sure. I don't know how well you do. He's a pretty fine racer.
Why are you doing this to me?
But I'm sure I'd love to.
And he's like just standing there, like shaking, like he's gonna blow up almost. Like,
Zephyr, I'm detecting something vibrating rapidly in your location. What's going on down there?
I tell you what, his Sweet Spot's calm. When we get back in town, give him a day or so, because you have like 2 days off or something when you get back.
Yeah.
Give him a day, get settled in, give him a call. We'll head out to the Speedway.
Oh my!
Don't you give him my phone number.
It's doing it again. What's going on, Zephyr?
You can introduce him to Hookabot, too. Time to make you a man, little bot.
Are you guys planning a surprise party for me? With all my least favorite NPCs.
Some of your least favorite PCs, too, I bet.
You mean all of them?
so you give him his com code?
You mean in the bottom floor?
We're all going to be there.
We're having it at your place. Basically in you.
Man, as long as you clean up afterwards.
Thank you so much.
No problem. You are welcome. If you excuse me, I got some work to do, but it was very nice meeting you.
Of course. And he's walking off. He's holding like the com code in his hand, like it's like this is like holy grail.
Hey, Sweet Spot.
Yeah.
I just met your #1 fan.
Oh, really? Who'd that?
Yeah, Blue Shift.
Oh, yeah, Blue Shift. Yeah. Very, very incorrigible youth.
That's right. I told him to go do some races, some laps.
Yeah, he really should work off some of that energy.
Yeah, when we get back in town.
Sure. Yeah.
You and I will meet him there.
You and I?
He might give you a call.
He might give me a call. Why would he give me a call?
To go to the Speedway.
Why would he call me, though? I didn't give my number.
So we could meet there.
Yeah. Did you give him my com number?
How else is he supposed to reach you?
Oh, maybe through you?
Well, he wants to talk to you directly.
He wants to talk to everyone directly. He is very incorrigible. All right, one time, but I get to invite the press.
That's fine.
Okay, I'm down with it. As long as he doesn't turn out to be the terrorist. Then
of course,
I don't want the press there.
That's a good point.
But I still might want to race him. And you too. You should take a few laps.
Yeah, I might do a few laps.
It feels good.
Yeah. Hey, it looks fun.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
A lot more fun when you're competing, though.
No, I don't know about that, but
you'll love it. Gets the oil pumping. Get the tires all hot.
I mean, not much of a competition there if the two of us are racing, right?
That's right. Well, maybe we'll invite a few more people.
Hot tires.
Something to look forward to.
Absolutely. How's the repairs coming?
Pretty well. I got another sensor just about ready to go.
Nice. Magnum.
Yes.
You picking up on that?
Yes, I am. There was something vibrating down there.
So,
what the hell was that?
Oh, that was Blue Shift.
Probably. He
throbbing with Antici.
Patient.
Couldn't resist, could you?
I need closure, man.
I'm still waiting for episode 60.
Episode 69.
Episode 69. Patient. Oh my god, he said it!
Can I detect motion down there now?
Yes,
Or
you
is
can.
it any other kind of sensor?
No, this one's a motion sensor as well.
Can you tell which sensors are which?
If you want to take a look at the sensors before you pop them on, sure.
Oh, yeah, I guess I could.
Just random sensors.
Throw it willy-nilly. I don't know what the sensors are for.
Motion sensors in the engine room, visual sensors and then,
All right, let's see what else we got here. I get a +4 to this.
electromagnetic.
26.
So you have one audio-visual sensor, so images and sound, 2 more motion sensors, 2 heat sensors, and an energon sensor.
Those are really expensive. It's like level 14 or something like that. They're very expensive.
That might be useful in the anti-grav room to detect the levels of the containers, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Magnum. Suggestions on placement of the sensors. I have 1 AV, 2 more motions, 2 heat, and the energon.
I would put the heat sensor in engineering, energon sensor in the anti-grav maintenance room, and AV outside of engineering. I'm not sure about the rest. I mean, I'd like him to sort of try to make a network, like fill in as many gaps around the maneuverable areas. So if he can space them out, so it's that if we detect someone going through an area, we could try to pick it up on another sensor, just try to cover as many gaps as possible with limited numbers. And
I wonder if maybe the captain wouldn't mind asking the crew to kind of give us their comlink numbers so that we can track them and their location on the ship through your sensors, Magnum.
Well,
because if we get a sensor trip and then we also know where the crew is and where they're not, if those two pieces of information don't match up, then maybe that's something that we need to check out.
You're trying to find out who's on the crew by heartbeat, and you're doing the Finn thing from Star Trek.
No.
If I know their frequency, can I track them?
Yeah, you think so?
Are there radio sensors that are strong enough to cover the inside? I mean, we need the comm. If the comm is going to function, there has to be something to pick it up.
Right.
So,
well, I was thinking they're individual
point to points. Yeah,
like if they all have comms to talk.
That means I can use our comm to pick up their comm if I know the frequency. If you can give us that, or I'll just try to figure it out on my own. Can you just run down this frequency over 8 hours and seek it out?
Right. And then do computer engineering.
It's like a scanner. I mean,
for all of them.
Really, that's what he would actually try to do if he thought of it.
Okay. Yeah.
Once Sweet Spot suggests it, he'll try to do that, and then he'll listen to everything they say.
Yeah. If that's like the action you want to take, like the full 8 hours as Magnum, yeah, sure.
And he'll also He'll also listen to all the R comms at the same time.
You are definitely going crazy. This adventure.
Since the sensors are good and I'm in the anti-grav room already, can I place the energon sensor there as well?
I'll say you can place up to 3 in an 8-hour period.
Okay, perfect.
So you can roll for 2 more if you want.
23 and 23.
Both good.
So energon in the anti-grav room, and I'll do the heat one, do the AV one in the engine room.
Okay. So Magnum, you are now seeing and hearing into the engine room, and you are getting energon readings from the anti-grav.
All right. He'll monitor, see what's normal, and then put a passive alert on it to see if anything spikes.
You're getting trace amounts in the bottoms of the containers, of course, for energon that still just hasn't been drained 100%. But other than that, you're seeing Zephyr on there, or you're reading his energon signature.
Hi, Zephyr, I can see you from here.
I
can
know.
see my Zephyr from here.
I put that in so you could.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I forgot. Sorry. Thank you very much.
I'm glad they're working for you.
I'm getting a lot of sensory input right now.
Zephyr's a exhibitionist. Magnum's a voyeur.
No, not willing one.
You told me to do it.
Watch, damn it.
What's Pythagoras doing?
Pythagoras, I want to pull up a schematic of basically a map of all the rooms and stuff like that in the ship. Now, presumably, since this thing is so old and it's the size of several apartment buildings glued together, and what's the crew complement?
About 14 or so.
There's 14 bots here, so a large percentage of this place is not going to be used.
Correct.
He's going to try to figure out what parts may be sort of shut down or disused, or see what sections in the antique sections are available. Then he's going to try to sort of, if there's anything's been sealed off, he's going to sort of try to see if he can get in and take a look around.
Well, was this originally commissioned as a crew transport? Troop transport?
Not a troop transport. It was originally commissioned as essentially just a cargo transport. It's been a more recent thing where it's been carting like energon containers, but it was primarily a transport vessel.
So I mean, the energon containers are on the outside. So I mean, what is there anything in its cargo capacity internally? Because presumably it has a massive cargo capacity. It's probably 80% of. Would that be reasonable?
Yeah, you would probably say somewhere along the lines of like 60 to 70% of the actual volume of the ship was dedicated to cargo.
He's going to see, if there's any check for old armories, old engineering depots, and if he can find a cargo manifest from what might still be in there. And then then he'll probably go down to the cargo bay. He's looking for stuff that's disused, and just to find out what resources are in the areas that they don't go into anymore.
Okay.
Ghost pirates or whatever, that sort of thing.
That's on the manifest?
Ghost pirate robots.
Huh. Who knew? Ride it!
Far too many Scooby-Doo references on this podcast.
Yeah, but they're stretched out over several episodes, so it's okay.
I want you to roll me 3 perception checks.
3 perception checks?
Mm-hmm.
1, 2,
10,
3,
7. I will find you.
I know.
You're jinxing it somehow.
All right, so first thing you do is you take a look and see if there's anything like listed in the computer systems for like a cargo manifest or anything like that. And it takes you a little while to kind of search through like a lot of the file structure, but you find that it's just nothing's there. Partially because it looks like the data core of the computer was wiped probably either a few years ago or maybe a little bit more than that, and was pretty much just installed fresh, just because it was probably running really, really slow, just like one of our computers does after so long of not being maintained. So there's like nothing old. There's no files older than a few years. But you go ahead and you call up a schematic of the ship and take a look into some of where the cargo areas are, and just seeing if there's maybe some spaces that people haven't been in a while. And yeah, you find sections of like the cargo hold that are just kind of marked as like just unused and have been unused for a very, very long time. You get down into the main part of the cargo bays, and there's like one massive cargo bay that has contained things like like smaller transports, ore, like just like mined ore, stuff like that, raw materials, resources, and stuff like that. That's bomb factory, right? And you take a look through like the main bay, and the main bay is pretty much empty. There's like little scraps of like maybe like of just ore that just wasn't picked up, and it's just kind of like all been shoved aside, like the corners and stuff like that. So nothing too amazing or anything like that. But you take a look into some of like the smaller, more like sensitive cargo areas, because there's separate rooms for like cold storage, for warm storage, and stuff like that. Now, all of these rooms are powered down at the moment, but you can see like kind of where these places are, like what they were used for. As you are kind of looking around, you can kind of take a look into some like little smaller cargo areas and stuff, and you see a door that just piques your interest for a bit. So you walk up to it and you kind of fiddle with the controls a little bit. Doesn't open right away, so it just, you keep on pressing the button. And it's like, why aren't you opening, damn it? But eventually you do get it open. The door slides across and a body falls onto you.
Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun.
And we'll see you next time.
This is Roadbuster. My squad is under fire from road cons and we need backup. We need someone fast. Someone who can scout out the cons encampment. Sweet spot. Led by Adam and Chew. It's 2 clicks away. Get him here. Fast. We could use some extra firepower. Get Wildstrike down here. Led by Mike M. I know he's an ex-con, but he's still the best damn gunner I know. The cons are breaking through. We need more soldiers. Carapace, Rex, where are you two? You're the toughest bots I know. Played by Patrick Finn and Rob Muller. Springer's been hit. We need a medic. Get Pythagoras over here. Played by Matthew G. If we don't make it out of this, tell Mission Command that Empire of Rust was created, written, and GM'd by Michael Ordway. And to support the podcast, go to transmissionspodcast.com/rust. Listen to the Transmissions Network for all the latest Transformers news and media. Oh, this is bolts. Wreck and roll.